right. There have been two new shootings, which I'll discuss here for about maybe 30, 40 minutes, and I'll be able to hang my head up and retire for the day. Uh, yeah, I was planning on doing this morning, and I was up until about 4, almost made it, and I passed out, and it was it. And on the news pop up. Yeah, there was one in Kansas City, and there's another one that's in a foreign country. I have to go look and see where it was, because it's somewhere that I don't usually hear much information about. Uh, okay, so the one that was in the foreign land was in Austria. This guy went into the city, and I guess he was mad at his girlfriend and shot up her and her um, three family members and her new significant other. So I'll read that one first. Let me right my camera. Austrian police are investigating the suspected murder of 5 people in the ski town of Kitzbühel, police said on Sunday. The murders had occurred overnight, a spokesman for the regional Tyrol police said. The suspected perpetrator had been detained, Austrian press agency APA reported, citing police. Local media citing police information reported the perpetrator was a 25-year-old man who had entered the family home of his former girlfriend and shot 5 people, the young woman and her new boyfriend, as well as her parents and brother. He later turned himself over to the police and confessed to the murders. Oh, so they actually did die. I didn't know for sure if they were killed or not. The police spokesman declined comment to Reuters on the local media reports. So he went in there, shot up 5 people, and I don't know if all of them died, but we know that. Oh, never mind. Yeah, killed all of them. So that actually changed when I saw it this morning. It was just shot 5 people, so they probably had some status update. Yeah, don't break up with certain people, I guess, is the moral of the story. All right, let's do the Kansas one. 4 people have been killed in the shooting at a bar in Kansas City in the U.S. Midwestern state of Kansas. 5 other people were wounded during the incident at a members-only bar in the city's Century, local police said. They believe that an earlier dispute occurred inside the bar, which led to the shooting just before 1:30 local time. The suspects were armed with handguns and fled the scene, Kansas City, Kansas Police Department said. The KCKPD. Earlier, the local police told the BBC that a suspect was a Hispanic man. An investigation is continuing. So far this year, the United States has been hit by more than 40 mass shootings, defined since 2012 as incidents that kill at least 3 people. And what is known about the shooting? They said upon arrival, we located a total of 9 people that had been shot. 4 of the victims were found deceased inside the business, and 5 were found outside with injuries, all due to gunshots. So 9 people were shot by multiple people, and 4 of them died. And it's really sad that you can have all the a mass shooting, which is supposed to be this big, huge deal. Oh my God, this multiple losses of life occurring at once. And because we're so used to 10, 20, 30, you don't even see it on the local news. There was like a little brief flash, and then it was over. So it's stupid. The other thing is that we have like this weird kind of desensitization, not desensitization, or rather this like thing where if something doesn't happen in the US, it doesn't matter. So this guy shot 5 people and killed them right there over getting dumped or whatever. And because it's not in America, oh, well, we'll just keep it off the TV. If I didn't look online, I would have never saw that story. Man, people are crazy as hell. The identities of the killers for the Kansas City one have not yet been revealed, but 2 are in their mid-20s. Or rather, the identities of those killed have not been revealed. But 2 are in their mid-20s, 1 is mid-30s, the 4th is in their late 50s. And some of the injured have been released from the hospitals, and others are in stable condition. So it looks like those are the finalized totals. The incident comes 2 months after mass shootings in Texas and Ohio that left 44 people dead. And again, no mention on the media. I saw 1 minute, little brief glimmer. PBS said exactly, it's crazy how normal this is. Like, it's actually normal for this amount of shooting to go on with no massive changes. Yeah, because the standard has been raised. It used to be you go somewhere and 3 people get shot. Oh my God, huge breaking news story. Now it's 10, 12, 13. If it's not some double digit number, hey. Like the only reason the Ohio one, if you remember that one in the bar, where I believe it was 9 people got killed. The only reason that one was a big deal is because it happened right after the Texas one. If that one had occurred any other day, wouldn't have made local news. Totally, the only time you're going to see any of this stuff actually start getting responded to. And I guess the other part is not even just on a political thing. It just kind of pisses me off that you can actually see multiple people get shot day after day, and because we're not even like on a thing of covering these, we just let it sit back. Like if this was something that actually was really troublesome, I wouldn't even have like any kind of positive disposition. But it's so normal. Just like, yeah, 5 people got murdered today. Oh, 6 got murdered yesterday, whatever. So let me see if anyone has any comments about this. I mean, usually, if you look at enough articles, you can find certain stuff that's been left out in other ones. So I'm gonna do that right now. Kansas City. Oh, they looked for it so much on Google, it comes up. Or the KCKPD. That's such a tongue twister. KCKPD's page. Okay, 9 shot, 4 dead at 10th and Central Avenue. Missing 90-year-old man, or 80-year-old man, rather, some other thing. They really don't use this account that much. Wow. Their tweet from today was 13 hours ago, and then the other one was from August 21st. It's kind of weird. That's how they roll. Remember, if they block you on Twitter, you can sue them because it's a public health crisis, or it's supposed to be public information. Even though what they should do is, if they really wanted to stop people from screwing with them and actually still block them, they could have it to where when you block someone, they can see your stuff, but they can't write anything to it. I really did not see anything. It's crazy. So we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow or the next day for us to get some updates. Problem with the Kansas thing is, it's like, how do you go and shoot up multiple people and then flee? No, like no cops. But that usually happens when it's not a lone perpetrator. Because when they do those little group things, they pre-plan it and then have like a little escape plan. Like, oh yeah, we'll get out of here together, man. See what else happens. They have all kind of stories breaking out. Okay, Sanders is at home after release from the hospital. Supreme Court's going to hear some case on, Kansas again, lack of insanity defense. I would mention that, but people would get confused. Uh, well, it's really just nothing. Like one article by all these sources, and they leave it alone. And then if you go to the police station, their Twitters or their respective social media, they act like they don't know anything more than we do. Like every detail has been released, and we know that's not true because what they like to do is preserve certain evidence so that if the suspects are ever found or there's some kind of thing that corroborates them, it's not released to the public because that's apparently helpful. For some reason. Yeah, I bet I could find some more shootings. And then the title is going to be false advertising because I said two. Payouts for Vegas mass shooting victims, a cold mathematical calculation. What the hell? This is about if anyone remembers the Vegas shooting from 2 years ago, deadliest shooting by a lone gunman ever, but only was important for like 2 weeks. They may have been united by a love for country music, but the people gunned down 2 years ago at a Las Vegas concert will not be seen as equals. Went up to 800 million. It's paid out from a legal settlement. The administrator overseeing the process will have the icy task of calculating the value of a life based on how much victims earned, the gravity of survivors' wounds, and the hazy concepts of pain, suffering, and emotional distress. It is a cold mathematical calculation, said attorney Kenneth Feinberg, who has administered payouts for high profile tragedies but isn't involved in the Las Vegas settlement. Forget courage and integrity. Those are characteristics to ask a priest or rabbi, not the administrator of a fund. Attorneys announced Thursday the MGM Resorts Intentional International settled with the families of the 58 people killed and hundreds of others injured in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The agreement will resolve lawsuits in it. I cannot read today. In at least 10 states seeking compensation from the hotel owner for physical and psychological injuries after a lone gunman opened fire on a country music festival from a high-rise Las Vegas strip resort on October 1st, 2017. Victims accused the casino giant of failing to protect 22,000 people, 2,200,000 people at I got that right. 22,000. I feel so ignorant. At the concert venue it owns, or stop the shooter from amassing an arsenal of assault-style weapons and ammunition over several days in his suite at the Mandalay Bay. Lawyers representing relatives of the dead and those wounded or are haunted by the shooting applauded the settlement and said it would eliminate a protracted court battle. They really don't want money, Los Angeles attorney Kevin Boyle said. They want their loved ones back, but it is money they will get, which will be dived up based on a formula such as expected lifetime earnings or severity of injuries. Payouts will be calculated by reviewing such items as medical bills, hospital records, and the prognosis for a lifetime of long term health problems. So they're basically saying that because they don't want to just give everyone an equal sum of money, whatever that is, out of the 800 million, they're going to look at all of the information related to how badly someone was injured, how horrible their death was, what they earned, all this stuff that has nothing to do with going to some concert and getting shot and getting murdered, so they can calculate what your life was worth. Yeah, Envoy, we had one in Kansas and one in Austria. And the one in Austria, literally, I haven't seen one. I've been flipping channels. I have not seen a single network cover that. Oh, this is a funny thing by CNN. Whistleblowers have shaped American history. Yeah, you won't see them mention Snowden on there unless they want to tell you to go capture him. Envoy's waving at me. Hope I'm doing well. Well, I would have been doing better if I got to do this morning, but I was passed out again. I almost made it. It was 4 o'clock. I was like, yes, finally here. I'm finally here. And then nope. Just not surprised the shooting in Austria had not been talked about since it's a foreign affair. I mean, yeah, but it's still like from what we know about it, it follows a lot of U.S. customs. Remember, we're told that the evil men in the U.S. are all horrible and they want to do all this stuff to chicks and abuse them and blah 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 blah. That's literally what that guy in Austria did. So that could happen over here as well. I guess what I'm saying is, if it's something where it's a person killing someone else and we know a little bit about it, like it's not a random shooting, which that wasn't. It's a guy who got pissed off that his girlfriend got with someone else and went to exact revenge on her and her family members. I mean, it's hard for me to really take that and say, well, it happened over there, so we're not going to talk about it. Always says, I only got last night, but somehow I feel okay. Oh, I feel very, very bad for you for having. Hopefully, you can get some more sleep tonight. Maybe you'll be able to finally take a nap. The situation, the Austrian man killed his girlfriend and her family. Yeah, it was that Fatal Attraction series on Dateline or whatever that was. It was the male version of that. He killed her. He killed her boyfriend. I think he killed her parents. I know he killed her brother. It was 5 people all got destroyed over this man being angry about not being with some woman anymore. Wrong place at the wrong time. Did you hear about bottom neighbor getting murdered in Dallas? No, I haven't. But if you post a link, I'll read it on here. Always says it's crazy. They often say that most women who get suddenly assaulted, I said suddenly instead of sexually, who get sexually assaulted and raped are done so by men they already know in their lives. Yeah, that was the thing. Most victims of sexual abuse, it's not the party stuff, it's people who already know you. So you don't just go outside and fall asleep and then random person does this. Yeah, two new shootings, one in the US, one in Austria, left a total of 9 people deceased. But because one of them happened overseas, no one is talking about it at all. Nowhere. I haven't seen a single major source other than an article that they wrote discuss the Austria one. Mm. That's the running theme with all these shootings. Did you see the no? You should have been there for the live show last. Oh, you weren't, but well, maybe you were because not every single person who was in there actually left a comment. But I said I don't. I try not to see films when they initially come out, so I'll just usually wait until it's on DVD. Always says, "What's the running theme?" Um, Having a bunch of shootings and then they either get covered for a day or they don't get covered at all. Like there are so many different murders that are just happening repeatedly, but because it's one person or a few, it doesn't make a big enough spank. I never would have thought that the Vegas stuff would get completely ignored after only a few weeks. Like by the end of October, that same month it happened, you would almost have forgotten it even occurred. No one was talking about it. But that's the thing. They bring it up. They go, "Oh my God, horrible tragedy." Spend a few days upset, and then that's it. Like how many people are really talking about the El Paso one anymore, or the Ohio one? We know murders are low on the list of what people care about. I just feel like people don't care about anything, man. Like you talk about the shooting, they ignore it. You talk about um, politics, they ignore it. I mean, it's just like, damn, care about something. Let's see, faceless killers and faceless victims. Yeah, it's literally just dropped off the face of the earth after a few hours or a few days. American men. I don't know what that question's supposed to mean. I don't have like a crystal ball. There's a lot of different ways to answer that. First of all, they're going to age because the future will occur and then they'll get progressively older. Um, always says that's true words. People don't care about politics, shootings, health issues, even to some extent mental issues. People say they care about mental wellness, but a lot of things got ignored. I mean, look at the what was a good example of this? We have these shootings, and then you see these celebrities get up here talking about gun control, and it's like you guys completely ignore Congress and the laws it doesn't pass year after year when the shootings don't affect you or they're not making national headlines, but then you expect me to take you seriously as someone that wants to see change that actually assist people or something, see some sort of response by our lawmakers. Like, man, go away. They're just using it to get 15 minutes of fame. And a lot of times you don't even have to actually do anything necessarily to show that you're concerned with something. So if you have people who say, I'm concerned about pollution, and for 2 or 3 years, they don't have like a vehicle or a way to get to Flint, Michigan, but they talk about it all the time. They bring it up over and over. I'd be a lot more convinced that person cares about it than someone who flew to Flint and took pictures in front of some nasty water. It's like, I am very concerned about this, and then flies back and never talks about it again. A lot of it just has to do with longevity and consistency. Oh my God, here we go again. What does any of this have to do with that? But I'll answer no, I'm not part of any stupid online group. Yeah, well, you see how it rolls. They ask all this stuff about this man. No matter what the topic is. I always said it takes so much effort to care, and also you must be selfless to be to a degree. People got variety issues and are too selfish to really give a damn. Yeah, they just sort of are really focused. And what's funny is, I tell people before that I'm very honest about the fact that I am, what's a good term for it? An individual who is about self-preservation. So I don't really like to get involved with any stuff I think is like really risky or damaging or whatever. And like they'll tell you that that's being this reserved, unconcerned character, but they do the exact same thing with everything else. Like these people who are talking about this stupid presidential election, they don't discuss issues. They talk about how people look. They don't like it's the same thing. It's all window dressing. They give off the appearance of being concerned, but to actually sit there and think about it and thereby show enough concern to do research and look into things, they won't bother with. Dude, I'm so tired of that group. I that's why I said I'm not on any of their forums. I don't talk to any of them, and then I still get lumped in with them. Hell, I don't even use their. I don't think I've ever had anything with their name in the title either. I know VVS has, but I've stayed away. They were in Austria and Kansas City. Where we got at least that question wasn't random. Remember the stream where the guy came in and he was talking about what animal would you like to be, or the one where I was talking about Iran and the guy asked me about chicks. I'm like, dude, go away, disappear, kick rocks. And usually I don't even mind it if they ask the question and they move back into the topic that's at hand, but they don't do that. Nine altogether, five for the Austria one, four for the one in Kansas City. Always says, "Oh yeah, LOL," but that conversation was kind of funny because it was last Saturday, right? We talked about a bunch of stuff on Saturday. No, I'm not. My thing is, it's just kind of annoying when you give someone a varied topic exchange over the course of an hour, which is what the live shows are, and then like you get to this one topic and they go, no, this other thing. And it's kind of a thing. If I don't recognize a username, I'm a lot less trustful of that character. So I'm just sitting there like, who is this? Animals are very interesting, so I'll give him that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with animals. I'm just saying that it was one of those things where they kind of try to roll over what you're trying to do with a semi. Always says, I can see how it's annoying when you begin talking about a specific topic and then people just change it randomly and they won't be here for the next stream. Yeah, there you go. We finally on topic. Four dead today in New York, Chinatown. No, but there's so many different people. I remember the guy who asked me the Iran stream about the chick stuff. I actually, because a lot of these people they don't keep their subscriptions private, and you get emailed when someone subscribes. I went and looked. I was like, never seen this person. How'd they find me? He subbed last year, hadn't left a single comment up until that day, and my jaw dropped. I was like, really, 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 wow. Hey, Envoy, YouTube is a very weird place. It's a place where people press a red button and then disappear when someone puts content out. It's a place where if you have a vagina and some big titties, you can talk about the exact same stuff and get 10 times more views by guys who think you're going to do something with them, even though you've never said anything to them directly. Discord's like that too, Envoy, where if you go in certain servers that are like mainly males, and you go in the VC, you know what I'm talking about. On the VC, you'll have like 5, 6, 7 people just talking to each other casually, but the most of the server just kind of ignores that part, and then some chick comes in there, and here comes 8, 9, 10 more guys. Hey, how you doing? Can I ask you a question? Oh, you sound cute. Like, boy, that the reason that doesn't work on me is because I've never been a fan of that crowdsourcing thing. Like, I remember I told you that when there was one chick who admitted that she had 20 guys send her like a, what do you call it, respond to her help wanted, I need someone to talk to sign on Reddit. I was like, all right, I'm abandoning ship. I'm out of here. I'm helping to clear the field. I tried to do that with the one I mentioned in that friend zone one, but she was like, "Oh no, please don't go," and then she still did that anyway. Yeah, thirst is real. People are literally living their lives online. So anytime they see something that they don't have in person, they start to get these fantasies in their heads that they're like so unique that they'll be able to court this chick. And the person they did this to in that server, mind you, is engaged. And I was like, what a bunch of fools. Okay, Ruben says look up Operation Kaleido. I'm gonna look it up, Ruben. Give me a second. And that wasn't a secret thing. She admitted it when they started doing their and just kept it going. So Operation Kaleido. All right, code name for clandestine state behind operation of armed research that was planned by the Western Union. Potential Warsaw Pact invasion and conquest in Europe. Although Glacio is used informal name for all of them. Let's see what this is from. So this is. You kind of lost me. I'm trying to figure out what specifically about this is good. I'm very aware of people being lonely, but there's a difference between being lonely and common sense. If someone is engaged and they're on a call with 20 dudes hollering at them, do you really think you're gonna be the one where she goes, "There he is, my soulmate. Time to break up with my person I plan to marry for him. Random online internet person number 6." Like, no. And hell, get a cat. It's so lonely. I'd rather that than to go and, do what they do. Also, I appreciate the super chat, Ruben. I haven't seen one of those in a while. I think the last time someone sent one of those was Be Still. Oh, that better not be the James 3 that I think it is. He has a lot of explaining to do. I haven't seen him in a while. This guy came on here one Saturday. When are the next episodes of your show coming out? And they didn't even watch them. When they did come out, I was so disappointed. I had a single tear come to my eye. It's like, no, where's James? I was so disappointed. Yeah, right. Someone wrote to you to say that you saw it so you could have a good cover. Also, don't expect the next ones anytime soon. It's been 3 weeks since I put those out. I still have for the next one like 3 VAs that haven't done their lines, and then for the one after that, 3 as well. Well, technically 4. What happened was one of them sent me a file and it was corrupted, and they were like, "I'm gonna have to redo this." And I said, "All right." And then a week passed, nothing. Another week passed, nothing. I was like, "What the hell?" So that's why they take longer to come out, because we got VA gridlock. How long we're talking? Well, like I said, I have no idea, because truth is I can literally go through and draw that entire thing, and unless they do their stuff, you will not be seeing it come out. And like I said, I'd rather do those in packs of 2 than one every time I finish it, send it off, because I that's why I finished 36 before 35, to kind of like pin my own feet to the ground. But like I'm putting this. It's a double feature Sunday. That was the reason for that. Rubin says Operation Glado was basically CIA and other intelligence agencies helping political extremists commit terrorist attacks in Europe. Propaganda Do was a gathering for Italian far-right politicians that were involved with Operation Glado. Oh my God. Well, I appreciate the explanation because I was just sitting there scratching my head. Oh, here comes the person who told me that I was ghetto and all kind of other mean terms. The bully Brian, aka Sky, aka denominator of mean terms. Yeah, Sky called me ghetto and said that I didn't know how to speak in complete sentences, and he was right. And I was poorly educated. All of it was true. I didn't realize it came off so quickly. He really pegged me. And then he said he was going to take my lunch money, and I gave it to him. Yeah, we have the new cyberbullying where it's like you could just block the person. No, it's free speech. I have to let him write all that. Envoy says Sky bullying. Oh yeah, your ex-wife already had you trying to pay her some settlement. When she said half of everything, they cut the computer in half, they cut the bed in half, cut the house in half. He's bringing. Oh, he's being disingenuous. Man, you're lucky. I didn't privatize it. I don't unlist that stream, that live show, and go and read your comment. That was very offensive. I was so hurt. I couldn't believe you would say something so hurtful. Yeah, I mean, you remember the if you don't sign a prenup, the half of everything, direct split. Usually, a lot of times, the man in a relationship doesn't really care because since he actually is like the breadwinner, he knows he can make all that back. So just like whatever, you can take your charity case, the last bit you're gonna get from me. Dude, Ruben's been pissed off ever since I didn't do that documentary. I'm gonna do it this week, Ruben. I promise. I'll write the script. I'm gonna finish the script, and then I'm gonna record it on Saturday. I promise. Yeah, you have my scout's honor. I was trying to finish the script for the last episode of season 3 for the show, which is apparently going to be an hour long. This guy asked me when is the show going to end. Whenever I get sick of the VAs, where I just say screw it. Sky says there are millions of sexless marriages. These couples might as well cut the bed in half. Yeah, people just live with each other. They don't like each other. I know plenty of people who are roommates or housemates and they can't stand each other. It's literally just a living arrangement. Because the truth is, people like to say that if you live with someone, you can't not speak to them. But I mean, maybe there's like those few exceptions where you do have to interact. But for the most part, you can just go to one room, they go to the other. Hey, no kind of correspondence. Ruben says if Trump actually does get impeached, but he most likely won't, who will the assistants Democrats choose to replace him with instead? Oh, Pence. Well, if he actually got removed from office, if it's the way they want it to go, then we'll probably get, they'll try to like do the super delegate thing with Biden or Harris. This guy says I couldn't be in a sexless marriage. It would be extremely awkward living with them. Yeah, I don't get the appeal of that. Some people just they're with each other for weird reasons. Yeah. Sky already said, but see, Scott thinks that Ruben couldn't understand my lack of vernacular, so he decided he had to say it as well. This guy says, which may or may not be worse. I don't. The only thing that you won't have to worry about with underpants is the tweets, which I couldn't care less about anyway. So I just think it'll be exactly the same. So that's why I said yesterday, all these vice presidents are just the president, like in terms of their positions. Uh, you might get a surprise here or there, but for the most part, it's just going to be a replication of what we've already seen. There is no might as well go get married and just date with living in separate houses. Oh, Envoy says, I mean, that's one of the main reasons for religious people to have sex under the unity of God. Praise the Lord. Yeah, we're all celebrating holy matrimony. Ruben says, Biden becomes president and chooses Obama as his VP. Then we will get the third term we were warned about. I'm pretty sure if he did take over, he will, well, whatever. Anyways, why do you guys do that? Like you go on channels of people that like a candidate, then you just screw with them. But whatever. That's how they roll. Ruben says we'll get that third term we were warned about. Theoretically, what could happen is they'll just automatically replace him with whoever the Speaker of the House is at that point, because it's still constitutionally barring him from being able to serve the excess number of days that the third term would bring. So, like, automatically when it starts, he just gets moved over or continues to be VP. They basically skip him in the ascension. A lot of the stuff that we say is unprecedented. There's still enough laws where we can theoretically figure out what they want to do. I'm going to send Monkey Success that video I did 3 years ago where I was like, yo, Obama is right. Trump will never win. We're going to have a pretty similar circumstance. Let's see. Sky says, if you want sex, you're a dog. And if you can't get a chick to sleep with you, man, that's why I hate that term, because it's like people who don't even say they're a member of it automatically. But that's how the internet works. You get labeled stuff that you clarify against and whatever. Can't wait for the next debate though. Well, you got one more week, so your waiting will come to an end soon. It's almost here. I just hate the fact that they can't, like, they're so lazy. They should make it to where it's 6 one night, 6 the other night, because when you have 12 on there, everybody's going to only be able to speak for like 2-3 minutes at max. Ruben says Michelle is now best friends with George. It's creepy. No, it makes sense. I mean, these are apolitical people, so stuff like starting the longest war in U.S. history and the worst recession since the Great Depression, that doesn't matter. They don't really. When you're part of the upper class, a lot of those things don't affect you. So you just kind of roll your eyes over. Is the new diss? Yeah, it is. I saw it. What's her name? Jamie, that chick that accused Vic. She was calling people that. I've seen multiple people who are part of the get rid of the Broly voice actor crowd calling people that, even chicks. Like actually calling chicks that term, and it's really funny. And it's like, you guys, it's like no argument you give to them will they respond with by actually speaking to you. Will Yang be in the next debate? Yes. Williamson, no. She could, I guess she theoretically still could make it, but currently no. She doesn't have enough polling. She hasn't met the polling threshold, which is really stupid, because even with not being a follower of hers, I'm willing to admit the fact that she has a grassroots, support. People like Buddha Trash and O'Rourke, they're only there because they have those millionaire donors. Only time O'Rourke really was able to raise anything was when he ran against Cruz. Oh yeah, Jamie and her crew ruined Vic successfully. Yeah, well, they've destroyed their popular images. I mean, it's like there's so many more Stand with Vic people than Kick Vic that I genuinely believe that even if they continue their VA careers, which they will, they're gonna continuously have this just hanging over their head. Problem is, I don't know if the fans are willing to cut ties with the English dubs of these respective, shows. Which if they do, then that would be the final nail in the coffin for those VAs as well, because they're going to say you guys have too much stink around you. Ruben says, I saw some Democrat who is an idiot, SJW, say that he donated money to professional imbecile Brianna Wu. Is that a commentator? I don't think I've. The name sounds really familiar. I'm going to look her up. Oh, wait, that's a Democrat running for the House. Okay, Sky says it's funny. Beto is trying to appeal to average people by filming him changing tires and other things. Yeah, like that's supposed to make me go, wow, he really understands what it's like to be able, because I'm not some auto type person. So if I want a tire change, I just go to a shop. The only time I'll really do anything with the car is if you put like with the oil, when you take the hood up and pour water in there, cool it down. Like other than that, I don't usually mess with it myself. So him doing that didn't really. I mean, his candidacy is just, you know. So it's cool. He'll fall off and probably get out maybe as early as next month, as late as right before Iowa. I don't see him making it to Iowa. Because remember, Booker was supposed to go to Iowa too, but he's been lacking the funds, so he'll probably drop out with him. He doesn't change tires himself with how busy and affluent he is. I don't even do that, and I'm average. Yeah. You just realized that, Kevin? It's like 30 videos later. I guess you're a fan of Yang. Ruben says Brianna Wu is one of the gamer feminists from the Gamergate era. That's all you really need to know about her. Yeah, I just went and looked her up and saw that. She ran unsuccessfully, and now she's trying again. It should be entertaining. CEO of Giant Space Cat. These companies have some weird names. Giant Space Cat. Ruben says both Beto and his wife come from ridiculously wealthy backgrounds. Yeah, I know. His father-in-law is some sort of businessman. I didn't look entirely into his thing, but I know that O'Rourke's father was a politician and was some Jesse Jackson campaign worker. I believe Beto's wife was richer than him when they first got married. Yeah, she was, and then he rose in prominence after becoming a congressman. The rise of O'Rourke. Hey, when he drops him, call the video "The Fall of O'Dork." And then I'm gonna play. I have this one video I got saved up somewhere where it's him like saying during his Senate campaign, "I will not run for president next year," and then, I mean, we know what happened. Okay, then I didn't know that. Brian says that's the way to do it. Marry into a rich family. Well, yeah, but usually it's chicks that do that with, the sons of some successful patriarch. Yeah, Ruben, I don't know what he's waiting for. I think it'd be funny if he drops out on the anniversary of losing of the midterm from last year. It's like, today I lost to Cruz, and say I'm gonna admit my campaign is over. You'd have been so terrific, Kevin, but he's about to get impeached. Romney's having this is his last term. Man, I love this, because you can tell when you actually look at the sort of relationship him and Trump had at the start of this year. You can tell Trump was reluctant to really critique him, because he said, after the editorial came out, Romney can be very well suited for doing some other productive things than critiquing me. And now he's calling him out of his name, saying he also should be impeached. Oh man, and I'm not against impeaching him. If we can get him on some crimes, then it's cool. I didn't enter over there. Wow, it's very amusing. Ryan says, yeah, it's extremely rare when a man marries into a rich family. Absolutely. That's why I said that, certain stuff works for one gender and the other one just kind of has to do all the work. But the flip side of the coin is when you do all that work, you're myself, you kind of don't want to give someone a free pass just because they have, the triangle in between their legs. It's just like that broad that was almost 30 that was trying to give me advice, and then she didn't have a car. She was basically like, if you look at her own personal stuff, she told me none of it is anyone who should be in any position to try to tell someone how to lead a successful life. Truth is, if I was in her circumstance and I was that old, dude, I would just, I would wear a paper bag over my head. I'd be very, very disillusioned. Let's see. If I was rich, is never give any amount to a woman, such as marrying or cohabitation. Well, that's my thing. Or kids, do any of those. Your money is as good as hers in most cases. Yeah, that's why I said I don't trust any of these broads because they always, like, I keep seeing the same thing. Someone gets somewhat more notable or famous, and then here they come, and it's like, we don't need any Johnny come latelys. We're good. We know that's unnecessary. It's like, no, thank you. This is a way better number than the one from the morning. Should I do the streams in the afternoon? Because I usually do it in the morning because I can just get out of the way and then go do other stuff. Brian says I don't trust anyone. There are certain people I trust because they've proven themselves, but again, the thing is they didn't come around when they think you have something to offer them as far as like a monetary incentive. Take my best friend for example. I've never asked him for money. He's never asked me for money. We are friends because in my case, I think that it's very open minded and entertaining. That's the way interaction should work. You should like the person, not what they can offer you in terms of the other trash. Glad I caught you. Yeah, Magumi, we were on your favorite subject. So pull out your popcorn and your alcohol and get ready. Yeah, or I should have said I trust very few. Same thing with me. I mean, like I've had some people say because you told me about the chick thing, you try like no, that's public information. And I'm kind of when you get to a point where you're confident with stuff that people would consider, um, I guess, a downturn or whatever. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's not anything worth trying to hide anymore. Yeah, or I should have said I trust. Oh, okay, I read it already. That's a running theme where I look away from the camera and I think someone wrote something else. Obista, you got to go back home. I don't have any Yang material to put up for you to enjoy. Your favorite candidate. That's where Beast still was. He was at a Yang rally. He was just sitting over there throwing his arms up like this. He was like, "Oh, a new stream." You even have to watch out for family members who will use you for money. Yeah, and Sky, it'll be the craziest thing in the world because literally these people, year after year, you'll see them maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and they'll never call you unless they want something. And then I'm supposed to like have respect and love these people. It's like, no, go away. We don't like you, and I have no problem pretending, not trying to pretend that I don't. I A lot of people like to claim that when you hold grudges, it somehow holds you back. And if you don't see someone all year or for any majority of time, it really doesn't because they're out of sight, out of mind. If I go into Megumi's house and I defecate on his floor in front of his family and he's embarrassed and whatnot, and we only see each other twice a year, and Megumi says, "Man, I'm so pissed. I don't want him over at my place ever again." Is he really missing much? That's my point. This guy says a cousin called me whom I haven't talked to in like 10 years, thought he was calling to catch up, but he wanted me to pay for his parking ticket, shaking my head. Don't pay for any of these people. Let them do what they get themselves in trouble. Like, and they want to use the fact that you're related to them to try and get you to acquiesce to their petulance. Just send them some monopoly money. Joe Walsh 2020 said no one ever. Oh, thank you, B Still. I appreciate it. All this fake interest is sickening. Yeah. Hey, Megumi, I actually had planned on doing some like cartoon romance stuff, like little parodies of things that happened. But problem is because it would actually use profanity, YouTube would demonetize me. So it's kind of like, they're basically like slickly trying to punish you for saying bad words, which everybody does or most people do. I shouldn't say most people because I don't have a poll, but a very significant portion of people do. So it sucks. 'Cause a lot of times you can express something through parody that you can't do directly. I can't just say, "Oh yeah, this one situation that went on for 10 minutes." I'd rather show that, and then they still might screw with it. So that's my biggest reluctance. I should have, huh? Ha 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 ha. I might do that on the rare chance someone asks me for money. I'll give them Monopoly money. I know this one guy who was pissed off because some woman on Instagram put up a cash app. So what he did was he went to his printer and printed the front and back side of $1 and then glued them together. It was like a $20 bill, and then said he was gonna mail that to her or send her a picture of it or something. Would definitely be intrigued to see that. Yeah, it's just it's like taking actual stuff that's happened and just put it out in that format. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. Bray saying he showed me the picture. He said that's about all she's worth, a fake of something real. The response would be so funny. B Still says YouTube is just looking for ways to not pay people. They realize they're giving people a reason to why they can pay them. They can still keep the people's work without giving them a check. A reason why they can't pay them. Yeah, like they'll copyright vids and then they'll still play ads on them. So they get paid for whatever you put up, but you don't. Now, what sense does that make? And you're kind of left with a lot of options because this is a literal monopoly, and the closest thing you can get is maybe Twitch, but people aren't going to come over or aren't going to travel from here to there to come and see you. So it's just a thing of rolling my eyes. They just come up with some rule to why you can't be paid. Oh my God, he said a bad word like every other person. Make a lot of sense for a great company. Oh no, I would easily. Oh, for a I thought Brace was trolling. He was like, "They're a great company. They won't pay someone for their work." Terrific idea for a greedy company. YouTube shows obvious favoritism. I mean, you're never going to see me in the trending tab ever. I could literally get like 3 million views and you'd never see me over there. We're like between the not even anti-chick, it's just like ways and factions of how people date, and then the anti both parties stuff. Never, no way. Ruben says a lot of mainstream vloggers on YouTube swear to and get to keep their videos monetized and even get to advertise products. Yeah, like Secular Talk curses, TYT curses, all these places. People will say TYT is dying and they have 4 million subs. It's like, what the hell? Ryan says just one of the bad word. You sound just like your friend Astro. That go on in the world. Megumi says it seems common sense is becoming more of a rarity than ever these days. Yeah, apparently. I mean, we've been over that with a lot of the chick stuff I've mentioned. It's not even. I said before, I don't even consider myself a smart person. It's just there's so much stupidity around me that it makes me look smart by default. Like on intellect, I probably on a scale of 1 to 10, the highest I'd give myself is a 6. But I'm surrounded by so many twos and threes and fours. I'm just like, and it's not even just a bragging thing. I gave an example of a guy who has a job that pays him enough to live at his apartment, and he goes and drives out to I'm in California. He drives to Vegas and will pay off, buy all this stuff he doesn't need, then comes back and complains that he doesn't have enough money. And I'm supposed to feel bad for that person. I'm supposed to not think they're dumber than me. I'd never do that. I've never done that. It's normalized madness. James says depends what brand is sponsoring them. Well, I'm about to sponsor you, James, if you don't come clean and admit you didn't even watch the new episodes. We're going to say this video is sponsored by jamesislion.com. Okay, I feel like common sense is kind of rare these days. Find them. I don't know if I read this already. I'm being very redundant. That's why somebody left. They said, "Hey, I'm good. We don't need to see any more of that." He's just repeating himself. He's that little circle. Man, I am just so fatigued over the VA stuff, over the chick stuff, over the. I mean, it's like all these places. I just had to sit back. Like I had one voice actor trying to contact me. I didn't even respond because I was so like 3 years of this. I've heard a lot of stories from different people, and I thought most of the time, why do you think doing XYZ was a good idea? Yeah, a lot of people do things that I don't understand. That's the like my now go-to uh sentence for whenever I talk about interacting with my contemporaries. A lot of people do things I don't understand. Like the chick stuff, like, oh, what's the situation there? A lot of people do things I don't understand. Like, remember the broad on Reddit sit up in my PMs talking about I'm gonna do all this nasty stuff to you, and then days later, I am presently in a relationship. It's like when in the last 48 hours? You just went down the street and you were like, "Hello, hey, you boy, when you get in a relationship?" Well, I don't know. I've never been in one. And then they got together. I don't understand most people. Yeah, that's why I avoid them. Dude, they're like one of the funniest things I've seen written on here was someone who said something to the effect of, um, basically, I used to get accused of trying to like make friends or whatever and put up with stuff, and now I don't. And it's like it's a reversal where like that guy that got upset because I wouldn't be friends with him, so he took me off the server. Stuff like that never used to happen, but it's like they have some kind of anger that I won't speak to him. I'm just like, no, you had a chance, you blew it, and now I'm on my way out. The same thing with the chick stuff. A lot of these modern broads over the last 2 years, a majority of them that I speak with for some continuous period, when it stops, it's because I say I'm done. Because I see that it's just like an attempt to, you know, lure me into the friends. I'm like, oh, I'm good. We don't need to be friends. We're in Iraq. It's cool. Very few friends and acquaintances. I mean, people like to call themselves someone's friends, but they don't really actually ever do anything for them whatsoever. And for me, it's like you could just answer the phone and that's considered enough because I don't expect people who I like that are not a relative or that is older to try and take care of me or anything like that. It's just it really sucks when like very basic things people want to do. Oh, you want to get on the phone and not have a debate with me? Oh, sorry, nope. Look at Megumi. It just doesn't make any sense. We don't do debates here. Yeah, you saw the guy write that anti-Bernie comment. I was like, man, whatever. I don't even care. Truth is, nobody writing any comment online is going to sway this election one way or the other. I could write a million anti-Trump comments, and he would still get at least 50 million votes, if not 60 million. So it doesn't even matter. So it's all a waste of time. Now, what's not a waste of time is actually coming on here and saying, I like this person because of this, blah, 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 blah. Because there's that little small group that actually finds the vibe. And even if it doesn't change their vote, it's still an informed rebuke or critique of someone. So there's certain reasons to do things on here. Ruben says that happened to me. Some people that I tried to be friends with stopped talking to me for at least over a year. Then I lost interest when they suddenly tried to start talking to me again. Yeah, the same thing happened with me on, excuse me, on Instagram. I had some broad the whole year, nothing. Come back, hey, talk to me, because she saw literally admitted, and I can screenshot this message right now that she only started speaking to me because I have over 2,000 followers on there, and I was like, you are so turned on by a number on a goofy website that could be deleted tomorrow. That's what makes you want to speak to someone. But I ran with it. I spoke for a little bit. She didn't really seem that to actually want to. She was still willing to continue, but I was like, man, you're not trying to do anything, so I'm good. Go away. And James might remember this. You remember that chick that you're my what the hell? No, all my friends like Bernie, so that's automatically disqualification. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I don't even care about like the political stuff because like as far as making it a bench test for who I interact with and call friend, because I used to try to talk to people who didn't have the same beliefs as me, and what they would do is every time we would bring up someone they liked, I would do this. Every time someone I liked got brought up, they would rage and say all kind of nasty stuff. So I said, wait a second, I'm not going to have my hands tied, but then you get to be free roaming and laissez-faire in terms of your rhetoric. No, man, you can go talk to one of the other what is it, 300 million people in the U.S. Not me. That's okay with that. I'm not. Do you remember the chick that was on Instagram that a whole year after we stopped speaking tried to speak with me again, and then like when all she had to do was say that she gets something out of talking to me, would decline to say that, said that she got nothing out of it. Or maybe you don't remember because you're not really James 3. Hey, that's James 4 in disguise as James 3. That's his son in the future. We're gonna have a time travel arc on here. Bagumi says, yeah, that's how it just feels so one-sided. No, bro, no, Sky was on Instagram. This is like I met this broad right around the time that election happened, and then no whole year no contact, and then all of a sudden, hey, remember me? Like I prefer not to, but yeah, I did tell you that because you commented and you said, man, all she had to do was just say that she was that she got something out of it. Oh man, I don't understand. I remember your response to that. So now you've confirmed you're not really James III, but someone who stole his manner of typing and other stuff. No, I was never discovered through YouTube by that person. That was an Instagram exclusive bout of stupidity and buffoonery and foolishness and discontent and goofiness and strangeness. All right, any further comments? I'm kind of getting a little tired. My leg is about to fall off. I'm gonna have to replace it with some kind of something. If it gets too tired for me in that same pose. But anything else? Because I got some stuff I want to do. Have people been entertained enough? Or are they going to complain and say that I called them a mean name or some term? How can I prove to you that I'm the real James? Oh, you did prove it. Now you recall. See, the real James also was someone who said he wanted to see some episodes, and when they came out, ignored them. So you've corroborated your identity. We all believe it's you now. All right, so I'll do a stream tomorrow. Maybe in the after. I prefer the morning, but we'll see what happens. So thank you for the at one point 12 people who showed up. This was the second in a row we've got that big a number. And hey, stay away from these crazy people with guns. They're all over the place. That's why I don't bother interacting with the majority of people I come in contact with. Go somewhere, get out. Just stay away. Stay safe.